Hello everyone and welcome to this Video Sans Frontières video. My name is Jay Wakefield. Now, when collecting computers, because I tend to try and find the cheapest ones possible, I generally tend to miss out on things like original power adapters, hard drives, hard drive caddies, RAM, or even keyboards or working screens. And unfortunately, that does quite often mean that I also get to miss out on some of the more exciting stuff, like any bundled software packages, or even restore media. So, boy was I surprised when I was looking through this machine's hard drive, as you saw in my last video, and actually found the restore media. Well, the restore file still on the hard disk. Now, I do have a friend in France who knows quite a lot about Packard Bells, and he did tell me that these Packard Bell EZ1 Silvers did have the restore media on their hard drives. Now, I was able to restore this machine back to its original state, and then use that to create a boot floppy. But what I thought I would do is I would walk you through the restore process once again, just for the camera. So I could actually show you how it goes. Now, Packard Bells are quite well known for needing one of these to actually restore the system. You can write your own Packard Bell Master boot floppy. If I'd have bought this machine with the boxes and everything, chances are that it would have actually came with a red Master floppy disk. But it didn't. So I was able to use the Smart Restore program to actually write one of these. So what we need to do to restore it, we first need to put the master boot floppy into the system. If the machine was started up, you'd need to restart it, but because mine is currently switched off, I can just hit the power button. And then just let it load up. Now, the CD-RW DVD-ROM drive out of this machine does not actually work. So, I've had to put the DVD-ROM reader in from a dead Packard Bell EZ1 Silver. Now what this is doing is it is going to restart. I don't know how or if this will even work without the recovery CDs, because as far as I'm aware, the drive C has now been formatted as NTFS. And as far as I can tell, the system can't actually read NTFS at all. I could create some restore CDs. It does give me the option to do that on the desktop. However, I can't actually do that at the moment because I don't have a CD writer, and I have tried using a USB one. But that doesn't work. So, a replacement CD-RW DVD-ROM combi drive is on its way. Well, let's say that I've just ordered one. So I'll be able to, restore this machine back to how it could be. I'm not going to remove the palm rest because unlike most other machines where they have the motherboard mounted to the laptop's floor pan, this actually has the motherboard mounted to the palm rest. A lot like the newer Toshiba's actually. Okay, attention, please refer to the chapter header Packard Bell Recovery Program in your user's guide for instructions on this utility. Press OK if you want to continue, cancel and return to DOS. So I'm going to click OK. And what I want to do, there's So as you can see, I mean, this is very similar to the Packard Bell Blue iMedia. And for those of you who are fans of 90s Packard Bells, you might find that this is actually very similar to the software, the Restore software on those. Certainly in the US models. European models, I think, used a text-based Restore program from what I've seen. I've never used a European Master CD because I don't know why. Well, my Packard Bell, my 90s Packard Bell came from the States, so I used an American one. It's quite odd how I'm Scottish and I've never used I had a 90s Packard Bell and I've always used the American CDs. Okay, so let's have a look at the advanced options. Windows and Smart Restore only. I kind of like that. That's kind of like the minimum restore on my HP Compact CQ61. Let's have a look at the tools. So I can edit. What can I edit? Or I can F-disk. Or I can just go... Whoops! What? Master CD check, I don't remember that. Well, I think I need 6. There we go. So I'm going to go Standard System Restore. This option will delete all the programs and personal data files on from your computer. It will then restore all of the computer's original software as it was when it left the factory. Do you wish to proceed? Okay. Eek! It's formatting the hard drive! As far as I was aware, that's where the... Uh-oh. I hope I can still get the... I hope I can still get the recovery data now, because it's just formatted my main hard drive. What's it doing now? I don't know what it's doing. I think I've just made a terrible, terrible mistake. It wouldn't let me format it without a CD in the drive, would it? Oh, now it's saying it's drive E. What on earth is going on here? Because I know that the CD, the images were on the computer's hard drive. So, and I know that I was previously able to restore from them. Ah, thank goodness. I got scared there for a moment. Oh, well, that's nice. I did wonder, because I actually used a batch file that I found on the hard drive to initiate the restore before. And, yeah, and then I was thinking, because it didn't actually format the hard drive, I was thinking, well, how does this happen? Because obviously it doesn't, if it can't format the hard drive, it won't work. Because, you still have all your previous settings. So it actually does look like all the stuff is stored in another partition. Which is quite nice. So this is a standard system restore, so I believe what it's going to do is it's going to rewrite the image to the hard drive or something like that. It's gonna write something to the hard drive. If I know my Packard Bell restore procedures, and I would like to think that I do, then what this is going to do is it's going to run through the XP text mode portion of setup about 3 times, and once it'll install something which registers itself as Windows XP Personal Edition setup. Yeah, there's no such thing as Windows XP Personal. It's just OEM nonsense, I would say. Also, like the Packard Bell iMedia, this uses WinPrep, which, in my opinion, is the most long-winded way of doing anything that I could ever think of in the world, ever. Seriously, it takes blooming ages. It takes ages to restore anything. I remember restoring... I remember the first time I ever restored the Packard Bell iMedia, it took me a good evening to do so. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is oh yeah, and I also find it quite funny how these bars go up the way, you know? So that bar's getting taller. Once it's all grown up, then that will mean the computer is ready to restore, to actually continue the next phase of restore. But, look at this, you've got all sorts of happy people. I love these late 90s, early 2000s advertisements. I love these late 90s, early 2000s advertisements. You've got, like, a happy, what looks like a happy wee girl. Then you've got a happy, wee family. I don't know what they're doing. You've got a happy guy. You've got a really happy business guy with, like, and then you've got some more, just more happy people, and then for some reason Robbie Williams. A guy that looks like Robbie Williams. Does Robbie Williams buy Packard Bell computers? Take that, Acer. Way! See what I did? So here it'll actually tell me what it's doing. It's going to extract 67018 AAD 802AB.01. AD, really? Nice. That's ACE. Oh look, ACE 805AA.1. I can't read this. AGK 8022AA.01. Oh well. And then it's saying, please be patient. This will take some time. Wow. This is probably one of the most truthful things I've ever seen on the screen of any Packard Bell computer in the world ever. Well, that and don't put some fruitcake in your floppy drive. Don't put fruitcake in your Packard Bell floppy drive. That appeared on the screen of one of Billy's computers. Packard Bell, I can't mind which one it was. Right, and then under here it says Standard System Restore, as opposed to what exactly? So, like I said, I think I'll just leave this doing that, and I'll get back to you. Now, at this point, I would advise you to go and make a cup of tea. I would do that, but I've already got one. I made a cup of tea before I started the video. Nothing quite like a hope of tea at 20 to 7 on a dark November Tuesday morning. No, it's true. Most people are just getting up the new. Yeah. And, so yeah, so this laptop may look, this laptop may look like something that's been dragged backwards through a hedge at Glastonbury, but at least it's still got all the recovery stuff, so I can at least pretend like it's new and forget the fact that these speakers are quite quickly becoming the colour of peat. Maybe if I immerse this laptop in peaty water, it might heal it. Don't ask about my lot. Look, Loxoon. Ardnamurchan is a magical place. Shut up! No, I'm only kidding. Sorry, I'm a wee bit looped. As members of the Stereo Dust Particles might say, I'm a wee bit looped. Right, I'm going to cut this off before I get into any more trouble. Okay, so now it's saying restoration complete. Please remove the floppy disk from the computer. Press any key to restart your computer. Well, first I'll eject the disk. Where's the any key? Oh well, I'm just following this thing and it. But apparently I'm not supposed to do that. Yeah, and this fan does go off quite a bit. I think this machine needs a bit of a clean. So, yep, lots of writing appears. Oh yeah, and here we go. Windows XP personal setup. What is this? Seriously, what is this? There's no such thing. There's no such thing as XP personal. What is this? So I'm guessing this will just take a few minutes to gather its thoughts together. There we go. So, I mean, if you consider, I mean, that this is going to go ahead and copy some files in this mode, and then it will, and then it's going to go ahead and go to the regular Windows XP text mode portion of setup, and then to the graphical portion of setup, and then once it's set that up, it'll go to the, well, it'll go to WinPrep and install all the applications. This really is quite a long drawn out restore process. And Packard Bellow files will be quite pleased to hear they actually have streamlined the process really quite significantly. In newer Packard Bells. If you want proof of that, my video of the iMedia 3050 should actually show you how quick and easy restoring a Packard Bell is. However, by the 3050 was a bit of a bottom of the ladder kind of a computer. It was a good machine, don't get me wrong, and it had an AGP slot, which was nice. And that is something that the Dell Dimension 2350, which is Billy Carr's favourite 2000s computer, that doesn't have an AGP slot. So I guess that's one thing where the Packard Bell kind of could excel over it. But I mean, the Dell. But then again, comparing those two machines is, I guess it's like trying to compare a Skoda to a Saab. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, I mean the 3050 really was a bit of a bottom of the ladder machine. Certainly, you know, it was a Celeron. It came with 256 megs of RAM, and it really, it had no software really to speak of. I mean, there was Microsoft Works, and just a load of junk, and that was about it. But it was still a really good machine, you know, once it did have a lot of potential for upgrade, which I liked about it. I sold it, you know, I got it with 256 megs of RAM. I put a gig in it, and that's how I sold it, with a gig. I sold it when I got the Dell Optiplex 170L. And, you know, I mean, the Packard Bell iMedia 3050 had been my office computer as soon as I'd upgraded the graphics card to something that I quite like. So here we are. So what is going to happen now is Windows XP is going to go through the regular installation. Of course, you don't have to do anything. You just basically just sit back and, you know, just let the hard disk do it all. Let the laptop do it all. Of course, checking Drive C will take a wee bit longer because there's all sorts of stuff on it. There's an i386 folder on Drive C, which is where XP is installing from. Now I'll actually show you some of the folders that are obviously left on the hard disk. Once I'm able to make copies of the recovery CDs, obviously a lot of this will, you know, there will be about 2.1 gigabytes of hard disk space freed up. However, unfortunately, that does mean that I will lose the hard disk restore partition. It also means that the machine itself, if I want to restore it, it will take quite a lot longer because it will be copying from 4 CDs rather than doing it from the hard disk, which is quite a bit quicker. However, if the hard disk should fail, I'm at least able to use... I'm at least able to actually use the restore CD, hopefully, to make a new tattoo. And put that to another hard drive. And then use that to restore the machine. And breathe. Okay, so I'll just let this do what it has to do, and I'll get back to you once once Windows XP is in GUI. The GUI stages of setup, which actually doesn't look like it's going to take too long. Okay, so here we go. Windows XP setup is now in the GUI phase. So what will happen is this will just, like the text-based portion of setup, this will just install itself, requiring absolutely no input from me whatsoever. Right. So, this is finishing the GUI portion of setup. It's actually just saving settings, which is the final step of setup. I'm actually going to film what happens when Windows XP starts for the first time. I must admit, though, I mean, this is probably one of the first XP consumer laptops that was probably around at the time, and it's not actually too bad. I mean, certainly when I was running it earlier, I did find that it was a lot quicker than I perhaps thought it would have been. However, XP, like I've said before, and I will probably no doubt say it again, XP has grown exponentially, really completely exponentially, since it actually RTM'd. You know, certainly with the Service Pack 2, Service Pack 3, I personally am not sure how well this would run with Service Pack 3. I'm certainly gonna... I think I might install Service Pack 2 though, so I can get on the internet using a wireless network card. Um... So, there's there's a few bits of good software on here. I'll show you. It's basically the same as the iMedia. It's basically the same as the Packard Bell iMedia, the blue one, and it's. But I'll still show you because there is some good software. It doesn't have WorkSuite, but it does have. There is Word 2000, Money 2000, and Works 2000. Why there's Works and Money 2000 when Money 2001 and Works 2000 and Works 6 was out, and Works Suite 2002 was probably coming out at the time. Why they went for the 2000 line of programs, I do not know. I think it is probably for cost-cutting measures. But the fact that there's a copy of Word on here certainly speaks volumes. I mean, Microsoft Word is brilliant. Look, here we go. There's the Packard Bell wallpaper from around the same time. So, there you go. This WinPrep tool is actually quite old. It looks to be a wee bit older. It certainly doesn't look like anything from that you would consider about Windows XP. Certainly with it using the cloud background from Windows 95. However, as for the software bundle itself, I certainly believe that that WinPrep tool was a holdover from the Windows ME days. And I would say that the Windows ME versions of these laptops, in my opinion, I reckon, I don't know this, but I think they probably came with a similar, if not the same software bundle, except for the fact that it's Windows ME. Oh, and by the way, this is a C drive. It's obviously reformatted itself to FAT32 so that the Packard Bell software pack could be installed. Now it's actually converting itself to NTFS. What I think this is basically the Windows ME machines and the Windows XP machines will have shared the same software pack. It's just that, one will have had Windows ME and one will have had Windows XP. And that puts me in mind of the Packard Bell software pack. For example, the 1995 to 1996 software pack that came with WorkSuite, Microsoft Works 3.0, Money 3.0, Encarta 95, and things like that. That came with Knowledge Adventures, My First Encyclopedia, Spider-Man Cartoon Maker, Toonland, Pirate Who Wouldn't Watch Millie Fitzwilly's Mouse Catcher. All that software pack. You could get Windows 3.1 machines with that software pack. But when Windows 95 RTM'd, you could get the same software pack, but on Windows 95. So I think that this is basically one of those situations. You got the same software pack in Windows ME or in Windows XP. So what's happening now is the file system is actually being converted to NTFS. I don't know how... Oh, it's actually done it. That was actually really quite quick. But then again, an NTFS conversion it's just... I don't know why, but... I imagine it should take a long time with the amount of stuff that is on the hard drive. Obviously, WinPrep is still installing quite a few things, and it's going to do this for quite some time. There's going to be a few more restarts, and then once that's done, you will get the machine will actually start up properly for the first time, and then you'll be able to you'll be able to actually set it up using the out-of-box experience in Windows XP. But when the machine is doing what it's doing, I would advise you not to touch it. Because, this is, this software set up, while I do think it's a wee bit long-winded, it has been choreographed by Packard Bell to work in the best way that they thought possible at the time. And I think I think the worst thing that you could possibly do is just try to ficker around with the machine or run some applications while it's doing that. You probably would lose work as the machine restarts, and well, it's always a good idea to not be doing anything while trying to install programs. And when installing this many programs at the one time, yeah. I mean, it doesn't install programs side by side. It usually does them in succession, one after the other, bang, 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 bang. But still, not a good idea to try and do anything with the machine. What is a good idea at this point is to make yourself another cup of tea. So, I actually quite like it because when it's installing programs, it actually tells you what it's installing. So currently it's installing ActiveSurf. It'll need to install AOL version 6.02. That's quite an old version now. System configuration. I wonder if there's such a thing as a... my goodness, what am I trying to say here? I wonder if this has a system credentials type program. Because I wouldn't mind finding out when this machine was made. And does it exceed all test parameters? That's what I want to know. Does this machine exceed all test parameters? Well, it's installing Avery Design Pro 2000, which is kind of like a publishing program, but Avery labels. And I kind of think it's meant... I don't know, I get the feeling that there's more to it than the actual program. I get the feeling that Avery are trying to sell you services, maybe printing the cards or whatever it is that you publish professionally. I don't know, I've not really had much of a play about with Design Pro 2000. So yeah, there's quite a lot to install. So I'm just going to let this do what it's got to do. So let's have a wee time check. Time is currently 8 o'clock. Been on at this since about 20 to 7 this morning. This probably actually compares quite well with the time it would actually take to install all the drivers manually plus the applications. However, there are other restore applications that actually can do it in much less time. However, we are actually finally on with the out-of-the-box experience. So what's going to happen is Microsoft Windows will set itself up and then we'll get the out-of-the-box experience. However, I must say, only one of these speakers actually works. So here we are, out-of-the-box experience. Welcome to Microsoft Windows. Thank you for purchasing this computer from Packard Bell featuring Microsoft Windows XP. Let's spend a few minutes setting up your computer. And look, we've got the Packard Bell logo there. This reminds me of when I was working at PC World on Work Experience. I used to set up a fair few machines, and obviously, pulling them out of the box, I used to get this. I just used to set it up, register it to PC World, and there you have it. Okay, so I'm just going to call this Easy Bake Oven. I could give it a description if I wanted. Jay's Packard Bell Easy Bake Oven. Like I said earlier, like I said a couple of videos ago, that's what Billy and I call it. The Packard Bell Easy Bake Oven. So here we go, it's now just gonna go and do some clattering about. Packard Bell registration. No, I think I'm going to click cancel. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes, I do. It won't let me register, I mean, it probably... I don't know. Does it? No, it doesn't. And then just usual... who will use this computer? I believe that will be just me. Personally, on a system of this specification, I would have never said XP was a good idea. Well, I wouldn't have minded back in the day because, I mean, you know, when XP RTM'd, I ran XP RTM on my 2001 custom built, which is a 633 megahertz Celeron. However, things have changed quite a bit now. Like I said earlier, XP has grown exponentially. So, I mean, now, if I was just given this laptop completely blank, nothing on it, and said, to choose an operating system, I would not choose XP. I would choose something, I don't know, a wee bit different. Something maybe like 2000 or ME. However, because I got this machine and it's still got the original software package and what have you, I'm going to install, I've obviously installed that. So here we are. We're finally in. We're finally set up about 1 hour, 40 minutes after we started the restore process. We're in. So let's have a wee look. So I quite like this, the Microsoft interactive training for Windows XP. Let's see if I can turn the sound up a bit. I know it's going to be kind of difficult. There's a couple of things that I need to change on here. In the effort to try and make XP as clean looking as possible, a lot of things are disabled by default. No volume icon on the taskbar, no quick launch bar by default. These are things that were re-enabled by default in XP. Sorry, in Windows Vista and Windows 7. Let's see.
Welcome to Windows XP from Microsoft.
If you don't run the tor, it'll never stop nagging you about it. Oh yeah, you gotta run the Windows tor. You really should. Why don't you run the Windows tor? Gee, what do you think you're doing? You know, running the Windows tor. Oh, gee, why you need doing that? Oh, you really should run the Windows XP tor. Gee. Right, okay, so let's select a course. Let's select a syllabus, Microsoft Windows XP Home Edition. SBSI. Step-by-step interactive. So opening and saving a file. Let's learn how to do that.
Opening and saving a file.
Thank you.
In this exercise, you'll learn to locate and open files from the My Documents window. You'll also
both
learn
speakers
to
are
save a
working
file.
now.
Finally, you'll learn to change a folder view to display the folders list.
What a really odd thing to happen.
Opening files so that you can view, edit, or print them is one of the most common tasks you'll perform in Windows. To open a file named Letter that's stored in the My Documents folder, click the Start button and click My Documents.
What happens if I click Media Player? Oh, it won't do anything. So it'll only...
By default, the My Documents folder contains the My Music and My Pictures folders. These three files were created by a user and saved in My Documents.
This pane contains a list of common tasks you can perform with files and folders, links to other places on your computer, and a details area that will display information about a selected file or folder. Tasks in this pane will change depending on the type of file or folder that's selected. Double-click the letter file to open it. The document opens in WordPad, the program in which it was created.
Let's modify this letter to send to someone else. To change the name in the salutation, double-click Charles and type Maria.
See if I can, see if it'll give me any free will. Nope.
To save the edited document under a different file name, click the File menu and click Save As.
I couldn't send
The
it.
Save As dialog box indicates that the file will be saved to the My Documents folder. The file name box displays the name of the selected file. To rename the modified document, press the right arrow key to place the cursor at the end of the current file name and then type 2. Now click Save. Notice that the document's new name is displayed on the title bar. To close the file, click the Close button. The new file is saved to the My Documents folder.
The default view of a folder window displays only the contents of that particular folder. However, Windows provides a quick way to see all of the files and folders on your computer by enabling you to change the default view. To change this folder view to display the folders list, click Folders. Notice that the Folders list replaces the links to common tasks in the left pane. The Folders list displays the hierarchy of folders on your computer, while the Details pane displays all of the files and folders in the currently selected folder.
The minus sign to the left of the My Documents folder indicates that it's already expanded to display the folders it contains. To expand the My Pictures folder, click the plus sign to its left. My Pictures contains one folder named Vacation. Click the Vacation folder. Notice that the folder's name appears on the title bar, and the Details pane displays its contents.
Because the Vacation folder is a subfolder of My Pictures, the default view is FilmStrip. In FilmStrip view, picture files appear in a single row of thumbnail images, with the selected file displayed in an enlarged view. You can use the FilmStrip tools to select the previous and next pictures in the FilmStrip or rotate the selected picture. Double-click the Matterhorn thumbnail to open the file. The picture opens in Image Preview.
Windows offers many useful tools for viewing, locating, and opening.
Is it created an Image Preview? Here.
Opening a file from a program.
In this exercise, you'll learn to locate a file and...
Alright, settle down. So, basically, it teaches you how to use XP. It's pretty good, actually, but doing that entire course can be quite time-consuming. But you'd probably be an XP Pro, see what I did, by the end of it. So let's have a look at some of the other programs. So here we have accessories. Usual standard fare. You've got games. Including Midtown Madness 2, which is kind of nice. Obviously you'd need the Midtown Madness 2 CD-ROM, but if you had one of those, then that would be fine. However, I didn't think Midtown Madness 2 would be able to run on a SIS video card with only 8 megs of video RAM. Derp. MGI Photo Suite for installation and Power DVD. I might install that. I remember MGI Photo Suite was advertised a lot in the back of Computer Active. Then you also have Atomix MP3 Limited Edition installation, Music and Video Maker Generation 6 OEM, and a new DJ, as opposed to what? Old DJ? But Atomix is basically, that is what Virtual DJ was based on. I remember when Virtual DJ was an EJ product. I remember EJ, the EJ series of products. I remember Dance EJ. And then they had, I think, Rap EJ, and I think they even had Classic EJ or something. That was, yeah. That was really quite something, actually. I remember those programs. I always wanted them. And then, of course, you've got online services. So you've got AOL 6.02 or FreeServe. I remember FreeServe. They're no longer. They became Wanadoo in, I think, 2003, 2004. I remember the tagline, whatever you want to do broadband. And then Wanadoo, of course, became Orange. So, yeah, FreeServe have been taken over quite a lot. But a lot of people didn't like it when it was FreeServe. I didn't mind it, necessarily. I didn't have FreeServe, I never did. But I know I know some folk that did have FreeServe. And at the time I thought PC World could do no wrong because I was a bit of an idiot, so I know that FreeServe, I do believe FreeServe was part of the Dixons group. Well, I don't know if it was, but I certainly believed it was back in the day. So, yeah. The thing about, this system does have FreeServe on it. Packard Bells quite often were sold at either PC World, Curry's, or Dixons, which are part of the Dixons group. So if FreeServe is also part of the Dixons group, then yeah, this machine would have been probably designed for that. There's also Norton Antivirus 2002 installation. I don't know if that was a full version or not, but it's nice that they give you the installation files and allow you to install Norton 2002 so that you have an antivirus program, rather than either installing it for you and expecting you to work with it even if you're bringing your own antivirus program with you, or not providing you with an antivirus program at all. You've also got Smart Restore, which will actually reinstall any of your Packard Bell software for you. Then you have Active Support, which is kind of a help system. Active Dock, which great, you need the CD-ROM. I've never had any of the extraneous CDs for any of these Packard Bells. I've only ever had access to the recovery media. And it's kind of lucky that I've even never had access to that. I'm going to have a look at New DJ. Now, I installed Atomix MP3. So, wow, this says, I must admit, this kind of reminds me of Virtual DJ that I use for Rockin' Waves. But I've got to be honest, it's got a lot more buttons. Because it's lighter coloured, it kind of looks a wee bit more fancy. Is this supposed to be, instead of decks, you've got these buttons which will actually take it back or forward. I kind of like that. That reminds me of, well, when I say back or forward, it'll actually speed it up or slow it down, or you can even play it in reverse, but certainly I must admit I do like that. That reminds me of the first ever deck that I ever used. CD1, CD2. I wonder if it plays MP3 files. Let's have a look. I know that there are a couple of MP3 files in Windows XP to take advantage of, so let's have a look at Beethoven's Symphony No. 9. So that knob really doesn't seem to do much. Let's see if I can adjust the overall volume. There we go. So, yeah, I need a wee bit of time to master this, I think. I really would. It's, yeah, one of those things. I'm kind of used to using Virtual DJ, but I like the idea that you've got two possible DJ programs that you could use. Now, I'm going to set my mouse pointer. I'm going to actually change the mouse pointer to, I'm going to change the control panel to Classic View. Even after all these years, I will still use a Classic View control panel. It's really funny as that. we've had category view for, well, since 2000 actually. Well, if you want to call that category view of what was in Windows ME. Literally all it was in Windows ME was most popular control panel options according to, well, someone at Microsoft. And you had to go to the classic control panel view to get access to any other options. Windows XP liked to categorize them. Some programs that installed items to the control panel then started to, become, it would sometimes put itself in the appropriate category. Otherwise, you just had other. And then, of course, you had Windows Vista and Windows 7 that just basically took the whole category thing and ran wild with it. And then, of course, I still change it back to classic view, or in Windows 7, I like to put it on large icons view because I can. And this program, and as you probably noticed, actually, the program groups are quite different. If it'll focus, yes, there we go. And you do have accessories and games; those are the ones that came with Windows. However, home affairs. Really? No, I just wanted to check. Home affairs. It's a wee bit personal, is it not? I wouldn't call it that. Seriously. Home affairs. That one's always tickled me, actually. It's they've been using that program group, and Packard Bells, they used it for quite some time. You got documentation. Help Design Pro 2000 or Microsoft Word Help. You've got Design Pro 2000, which of course is by Avery Software. They make labels and envelopes and what have you. Microsoft Money, that's Microsoft Money 2000. Microsoft Photo Editor, it comes with Word. Microsoft Word, and then Microsoft Works, which is Works 2000. Word needs a product key, which I'm guessing you would actually get. If I had all the documentation to this system, I would get the product key. Then you've got Internet and Communications. ePhone tools. My mum got that on her Median. ActiveSurf. I don't remember that. I think that's some kind of odd web browser. Installation of AIM. That, I believe, is AOL Instant Messenger, which was actually, well, that was a pertinent program back in the day. Everyone used AIM, and then suddenly we all went to MSN, and suddenly we all went to Facebook, and then MSN closed down. Whereas I do believe that AIM is still going. So AOL won, Microsoft. Well, actually, Microsoft bought Skype and then made it worse. So basically, it's not that Microsoft no longer has a messaging chat service. It is more the fact that they want all MSN users to use Skype, which actually is more of a... You can use it for chat, but I think the interface is more... That interface works best on full screen, whereas MSN Messenger, I think, worked best in Windows, as a windowed app. Then you've got QuickTime installation. It's quite funny how a lot of these things aren't installed by default, and it's just like literally Packard Bell have given you the installation files. It's just basically a shed load of install files. My CD writer. Well, that's a lie. Well, that would work. No, sorry. I should. I'm being unfair now, because the only reason this doesn't have a CD burner is because I took the CD burner out because it wasn't working. So now it's got a DVD-ROM reader. However, I do have a CD burner on the way, like I said, for the simple reason that I want to make recovery discs. So, yes, this machine will be a wee bit more original once again. Then you have Photo Suite for installation, like I said before. And then you've got Power DVD. But what on earth is Power DVD doing in my imaging studio? That is a movie player. An imaging studio is not a movie player. Power DVD is not an imaging studio. A movie player does not an imaging studio application make. Unless, of course, you were to use Power DVD to, get screen grabs from a DVD file, which I'm sure the copyright holders of said DVD would love very much. Of course, generally speaking, you can't necessarily just hit print screen and expect to grab a scene from a DVD, because it'll just show it as a blank window. I remember once when I tried to grab a scene, this is quite funny actually, because once I tried to grab a frame from a DVD that I was watching, I believe it was 8 Mile, and set it as my desktop background. Now, what happened was, for whatever reason, the desktop background became what was on the DVD. So it became like a video background. And I thought, this is cool, I can watch DVDs on my desktop. However, it only worked for that particular disc. Once I took it out and put another one in, or I put that one back in, it just kind of went black. So that was quite odd. But yeah, there are obviously ways and means of doing a screen grab of a DVD movie. However, now you've got my music studio, like I said, you've got all this lot, and yeah, so I think I've been through the apps now twice. So let's launch Microsoft Works and see what happens. End user license agreement. Yes, it's Works 2000, and yes, it is quite odd seeing this under Windows XP. Now, and because it's not Works Suite 2000, there is no Microsoft Word icon. I'm wondering, I could probably install the Word add-on from the Works Suite 2000 disk and actually have it sew in a Microsoft Word icon. I could do that, just to be really cool. And then it would take from the originality. Microsoft Money 2000 talks you through everything. Let's have a listen to it.
Welcome to Money 2000. The Money Setup Assistant will help you set up your file.
I hate your accent. Welcome to Money 2000. The Money 2000 Setup Wizard will help you set up your file. Ugh. No, thank you. What about Microsoft Word? Before using Microsoft Word for the first time, you'll need to enter the product key, as opposed to what is mentioned. No one of the screens. What? As opposed to what is mentioned on one of the screens that will follow, the product key can be found on the front cover of the Microsoft Word 2000 booklet. Please have this booklet in front of you before continuing. Right, okay, this is absolutely fine. Ah, yeah, I see what you mean. It's you'll need this number on the yellow sticker on the back of the CD jewel case, but in this case it's on the booklet. And for some reason it's registered to NEC Computer International. Okay, so now if I exit out of that, it's not like Office XP, which will run for 40 odd times before going into reduced functionality mode, where you can't save or print documents or what have you until you enter a product key. If you try and exit the Microsoft Word setup wizard without entering a product key, it will, and I quote from a For Dummies book, it will basically leave the screen like a surly bellhop leaving your hotel room without a tip. Anyway, so let's throw in a CD key. So here we are, Microsoft Word has started, and I've got to tell you, running Word 2000, yeah, okay, I accept the agreement. I've got to tell you, running Word 2000 in Windows XP, it certainly brings back a lot of memories for me, does this? Oh yeah, and the Office Assistant will just run away like a bicycle. I don't see an Office toolbar. Nor do I see Open Office Document or New Office Document. And I know those features are there in Word, but it's obviously the way that Packard Bell have set it up. So there you have it then. This is my Packard Bell Easy Bake Oven, completely restored to its factory settings with a beautiful blue Packard Bell desktop background and everything all going. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked what you see, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and or like our Facebook page. The URLs for both will follow. Also, I would like to thank you all for watching this video. And I hope you'll all join me for my next one. Thank you for watching. See you again.